Hey everybody, Joker here with another video. I know it's been a while, but yeah, here I am making another video because I was inspired to do so by actually a video of a good friend of mine here on YouTube, Dan, aka RF Biker Scout. He put up a really great video not too long ago about his favorite movies that he's seen this summer, and it's inspired me to make my own video in a similar fashion. Except for he has seen much more movies this year than I have, and so this is going to be a kind of ranking of all the movies I've seen this year. And let me be clear on the criteria of that. So all the movies on this list were released as theatrical releases this year, and I didn't, not necessarily having seen them in theaters, but they were released this year, 2013. And it is a grand total of 9 movies that I've seen that have been released this year. I know, not very impressive at all compared to Dan's very long list. But it's just been a very busy year for me, so I haven't been able to see as many movies as I'd like to. And I still have some movies out right now that I'd like to see. So maybe at the end of this year, I'll do a new ranking of all the movies that I saw this year, and so on and so forth. But with those 9 movies in mind, I have a little list here, and I'm going to share what ranking they have, again, out of the 9 movies, and just talk a little bit about each individual movie and my thoughts on it, going from my least favorite movie this year to my most favorite movie this year. And so my least favorite movie at number 9 is, you guessed it, Iron Man 3. Yeah, Iron Man 3. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I have some problems with Iron Man 3, and I'd rather not dig that back up again. If you really want to know my thoughts on Iron Man 3, I did 2 very long videos on it. I recommend that you watch the one called What If Jon Favreau Had Directed Iron Man 3. Personally, I think that's the better video out of the 2, where I more concisely express my thoughts on the movie and how I thought it could have been better. So, yeah. Iron Man 3, you're my number 9. You would have been lower if there had been more movies that I'd seen this year. Number 8, The Hangover Part 3. Yeah, this is a movie that I saw, and I came out of it like, that was it. I had only seen the first Hangover movie, which was a really funny movie, a really enjoyable film. I did not see The Hangover Part 2 because I heard a lot of bad things about it that just wasn't that good of a movie. And so I went Hangover Part 3, still just my only previous experience with the Hangover series was the first one. And it just felt like a lot of stuff was just retreaded. A lot of jokes fell flat. They were a bit simplistic, and, a lot of physical humor that didn't really, wasn't really snappy or anything. So, but there were a few parts that I chuckled. It just wasn't as funny as I had hoped it would be. So, number 7 is Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, or something like that. I think Witch Hunters. I'm pretty sure that was it. Anyway, the one with Jeremy Renner as Hansel. And so yeah, this movie I didn't see it in the theaters. It was on sale for the DVD was on sale, so I picked it up then. I watched it, and I had a good time with it. You could tell on it, obviously, that it was like a budgeted movie. It was a budgeted action slasher horror action flick, and horror action is the only type of horror that I care for anyway. So but it was done well, I think, for what they had and what they wanted to do. I think they succeeded. It had a really good cast. Like I said, Jeremy Renner. I forget the name of the actress that plays Gretel. She's been in a few things like Quantum of Solace and Prince of Persia. And I also had Famke Janssen, I believe. I hope I'm saying that right. But Jean Grey from the X-Men movies. So it had a solid cast, and the guy from the German engineering car commercials, he was in there too. Don't want to forget about him. And like I said, it was just a solid budgeted horror action movie. What can I say? It didn't really knock it out of the park for me, but I don't regret watching it. At number 6 is Oz, the Great and Powerful. Again, another movie that came out this year that I didn't see when it was in theaters. I actually caught this on a very long flight while I was in the process of moving. And I thought it was a very enjoyable, kid-friendly kind of adventure movie. I really like the Wizard of Oz, the original 1930s classic, and so I was a bit skeptic. I was a skeptic when I heard they were making a kind of prequel movie directed by Sam Raimi. And I was like, that could either be really bad or it could be surprisingly like a cult hit. And I think that Oz is more of kind of on the positive spectrum, on the positive end of the spectrum for me. I know a lot of people didn't really care for it, but I thought it was just a fun movie, And again, I was on the flight, so it's when you're on a very long airplane flight, you kind of take anything that you can get for entertainment. So, it was an enjoyable adventure movie, and not that bad in my opinion. Number 5, G.I. Joe Retaliation. So this one had a bit of controversy when it was originally pushed back. It was originally supposed to come out last summer, so yeah, very long time before it actually came out this past March. And they said that was because of they decided at the last minute to convert it to 3D. Whether that was the truth or not, we may never know. If there might have been some behind the scenes politics going on there, but I thought it was a very good action movie. With regards to the first G.I. Joe movie, I actually like the first one better, which I know that sounds weird because a lot of people think that the first one is absolute. But I actually thought the first one was a really good action movie, and this one, you could tell that they decided to cut back on it some more in terms of the budget. The cast automatically that was cut down quite a bit from the previous movie, where it was kind of like an ensemble where you had a bunch of Joes and you had a bunch of Cobra operatives. In this, it feels more like it was just kind of like a handful on each team, and that I felt a little not so. I didn't feel that was really to the movie's benefit. They still retained, I think, kind of the two coolest characters in the movie, which was Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes. So they were still there to redeem the movie. But it was budgeted. I could tell from the previous movie they didn't want to spend as much money. They wanted to make more money instead. And I thought that it was a good movie. It had some really good scenes in it. I think that they definitely made Cobra seem more like a menace in this movie, whereas before they were kind of like almost like a 60s James Bond, like a Spectre kind of organization, where it's like, yes, Cobra, like that, And so that I didn't think was, I thought it was a good movie, Moving on, Man of Steel, I did a review on that, and I thought it was a good movie. I thought that their portrayal of Superman was a little too dark at times. The movie was a little bit bleak, but the action was plentiful, and it was definitely quite enjoyable as well. So if you want to hear more on that, then you can watch my video on that. Number 3, The Wolverine, which is the latest movie I've seen this year. In case you didn't know, I'm a huge X-Men fan, and going into this movie, I knew that because like the director changes and stuff, they said that they wanted to make this very different from the previous Wolverine movie, and so going into it, I was expecting that, but at parts it just didn't really feel like it had anything to do with any of the other X-Men movies, which I know they're trying to tell a really good solo story for Wolverine. But I did really enjoy, for instance, the scenery in the movie. All the locations in Japan. It was gorgeous. A gorgeous country from all that I've seen in movies and TV and stuff. And so getting to see more of that country is always great. And we had some really good character development for Wolverine, I think. And I like that they actually kind of acknowledged the events of the third X-Men movie and dealing with Wolverine's problems they had from the resolution of that movie, which I won't spoil in case none of you haven't seen the third X-Men movie. But definitely the credits teaser, I'm very excited for X-Men Days of Future Past. That's going to be like the Avengers for X-Men fans, so I'm very excited for that. Number 2, Pacific Rim. And if I'm talking a bit faster, it's because I don't have much battery life left on my camera. And really enjoyable action movie, as one reviewer said, which I'm sorry I forget the name of which reviewer said this, but the best summer fun action movie since Independence Day. And I agree wholeheartedly with that. You're not going in expecting some amazing, complex, intricate story where everything just comes together at the end. No, you don't really get that. It's big robots versus big monsters, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. So, and number 1 is also actually the same as Dan's number 1 pick, and that is Star Trek Into Darkness. Great time I had at that movie. Also a bit special to me because I had it as kind of a going out party with some of my friends back where I moved from. So it always enhances your opinion of a movie when you have a good memory associated with it, and so that's it for me. But just a really enjoyable film, great special effects, definitely has me really excited to what J.J. Abrams is going to do for the Star Wars universe in Episode 7. So yeah, that is my 9 movies that I've seen this year, that have theatrically released this year, and it's been a good year for movies, I have to say, on the most part. A few disappointments here and there, but really great. And this is going to be posted as a video response to Dan's video, so be sure to check that out as well. This is Joker Fett, signing out. Bye.